Kill you.
I've just seen death.
Do you know what the most frightening thing in the world is?
All right, so we're here, the 35th anniversary of the Burbs. I'm 6 years older than the Burbs, and I'm a little bit depressed about that, but it's okay.
I'm 8 years. No, it's 7 years. Wait,
Oh.
I don't do math.
It's not that hard, Henry. Math. How old are you past 35?
Let's do the math here.
Carry the one.
4 years old.
To get started, do you guys want to see the trailer?
Yeah. Do you want to bring in the show proper or something? Like,
no, it's Macabrecast. Fuck it. That's Ozzie. That's Henry. Frank Welker Wonder Hour. And
I don't know if we're gonna call this. I don't know if we're gonna call this episode Ozzie Fixes the Burbs. Is that? I know that's.
I renamed it the 35th anniversary, and then we'll just have a little note in there about you audaciously. You have the balls to think you can change it.
That was a fucking Porky Pig moment for you if I've ever.
This is what I need, Carol. I need this.
Welcome to Mayfield Place, a typical street in the Burbs.
Great.
Walter.
Where nothing much ever happened.
Walter's dog just
hate it how this trailer does not yet have
until the Klopex moved in.
Klopex?
Klopex. Klopek. No one goes in. No one comes out.
Neighbors from hell.
It was a nice place to live.
He said he thinks the Klopex are
So
evil
strong for me.
incarnate.
Well, you're much too smart to fall for that, aren't you, honey?
But now,
Carol!
you wouldn't want to visit there.
Ray, this is Walter.
The Burbs.
I'm going over the fence, and I'm not coming back till I find a dead body.
Ray, do you want him to take your family, kidnap them, tear their livers out, and make some kind of satanic pate? We found Walter!
We got a real problem.
I hit the gas line, I'd run!
God, I love this street.
Tom Hanks.
I think we are overreacting.
No.
The Burbs. It's one hell of a neighborhood.
Hey, honey, I think we should move.
I'm so glad that they got musician Corey Feldman to be in the movie. You guys know his music catalog, right?
Oh my gosh, I know that he does that, and I know people lead him on. Unfortunately, I think
that's the right phrase. They lead him on.
Yeah, I think you're all doing a disservice to people with mental health issues.
Yeah.
You're not.
The harmonica song.
If you try to tell me that you, in earnest, generally like that music, and you're not there because of the
You're just
humor,
watching a man crumble.
that you're not there because if you try to tell me that you're not there because it's ironic for
you're in on a joke.
Yes, you're in on a joke. If you try to tell me that that's not what's happening, that you legitimately like that music, I don't believe you. I just don't. You're lying to yourself, maybe.
Well, I guess I'm going to tear up all my notes about Corey Feldman. Piece of shit.
Well, that's not what I'm getting at. We could certainly talk about Corey Feldman. And we will, because he's a big part of this movie. And, actually, if you read into the behind the scenes and you listen to him talk about it, he wanted to be a bigger part, and he pushed to be a bigger part.
He's always pushing to be a bigger part of a movie.
That actually, I bet he was kind of just like a petulant child and a pain in the ass on set. He actually Joe Dante, and he brought him the script. He's like, "Hey man, you wrote me out of this scene. Why aren't I in the scene where the whole neighborhood goes and visits the Klopex with the plate of brownies?" He's like, because you're a fucking child in the neighborhood. Why would they get you to go over there with them? And he's like, well, all right, then fine. I'm still upset about it because I want to be in every minute, even if I don't belong there.
One of these days, I'm going to write a song about this moment. It's going to go to the top of the charts.
Right. Oh man. But people, seriously, you need to stop giving him the limelight.
The motivation.
Yes. Stop it. Just stop it. I think it's only ruinous. Anyway.
So when did you guys first see the Burbs? Henry, we'll start with you.
I saw it on VHS when it was released on VHS because I was 8 years old, and my
That
parents
sounds
were
about
like
right.
really big Tom Hanks fans because Big was awesome and Splash. So they gave it a shot. And apparently, they didn't like it because I never saw it again. And as I grew up, I kind of just wasn't in my radar anymore until I started talking to you guys.
I've never seen Splash.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's fun.
Yeah.
Also, they're great. Is that the one John Candy's in that he plays his
John
brother?
Candy's, yeah, John Candy's in it.
Yep. Worth it just for like 6 minutes of John Candy on film, I think.
Yeah. So were you a VHS one as well, Ozzie? Did you see it on VHS or did you see it on theater?
No, not in theater. This came out in '89, so I would have been
7 or 8. 6?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
89, so I would have been 2 years old.
Okay, calm down. No, I didn't see this on theater. This was actually, and I've talked about this before. This was from the Uncle Bob video library of my youth.
Oh, okay. What do you?
Ah,
Oh, your actual
Yeah, I
Uncle
remember,
Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Actual
right.
Uncle
Okay.
Bob.
That's right. I've talked about this before. He was a huge cinephile. He taped everything off of Showtime and HBO way back in the day. He cataloged it. He had 3 ring binders with alphabetized titles and exactly where to find it on his endless shelf walls that just had VHS tapes, with a little paper label and like 6 movie titles written on each one because he taped everything on SP or whatever.
SP, I was going to say SP.
Super.
Where are these tapes now?
Oh, I wish I knew. I'm going to contact, you know what I'll do? I'll contact my cousin James, who's his son, and ask him and see if he knows. I'm sure he knows what happened to them.
He's like, I still have them. We can't move.
Oh my God.
Kind of wore out a couple.
I think Uncle Bob might have had a couple of sections of Uncle Bob's area too.
There was a curtain, and every
Little curtain.
yeah, and I'd always get in trouble for questioning what was behind it. Anyway, so I watched it on VHS all the time, and I fucking loved it from the get-go. How about
Yeah.
you?
I saw it on VHS. I think my parents both liked it, but I think that they only watched it like once because they figured it was too scary for us.
Yeah.
And so but I remember seeing it when I was young, and I remember them liking it. And I didn't really understand what was going on too much, but I remember there was a lot of like slapstick stuff going on. And then
Hanks seems to be enjoyable for like all ages. Just his presence on screen.
Tom Hain is always enjoyable.
Is he the king of Halloween or something?
Yes. Oh yeah. What's his name? And he has a pumpkin suit on.
I'm David Pumpkin.
I'm David S. Pumpkins.
David S. Pumpkin.
I forgot about that bit on SNL. That's good. Anyway, this movie in '89, yeah, like you said, Henry, he had done like Big and Splash, and he was certainly making a name for himself. And this movie kind of ended that phase of his career.
So it wasn't just my parents being picky about what they liked in movies back then. Okay.
Nope, it was
because I enjoyed it as an adult though, but knowing that it's Joe Dante and
and maybe the nostalgia, the nostalgic factor going for you, as well as Matt and I do, the same.
Yeah,
I was just gonna see what he did.
What did he do
after 1989? So I'm looking that up right now.
Well, he came back hard and did Philadelphia.
Let's see. So 89 was also Turner and Hooch. 90 was Joe versus the Volcano.
And that also his career.
1990, Bonfire of the Vanities. 92, League of Their Own. Sleepless in Seattle, 93.
That's when it started changing.
93 was also Philadelphia.
Sleepless in Seattle, Philadelphia. That's when it really took a turn and he came back into the spotlight. But his 80s version Tom Hanks, where he was just like kind of, I'm Tom Hanks. He's like always screaming and slapstick comedy Tom Hanks. That was done with this. This movie was kind of the fucking nail in the coffin of that version of Tom Hanks, unfortunately.
Game?
Guys,
why am I up here?
Who would love to see Tom Hanks come back and just do some slapstick comedy? That would be so good. I would love that.
Did he try again? There had to have been something.
He's done comedies, yeah.
Like what?
Slapstick.
Saving Private Ryan? No, that's not it.
Oh wait, no.
No.
Green Mile, no.
No. So
Catch Me If You Can, that's sort of comedy.
Barely.
The Polar Express.
That's slapstick. There you go.
No.
Oh.
Him Lady Killers doing that fucking Colonel Sanders.
Oh, Lady Killers was awesome. Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
You should. It's good.
Yeah.
I seriously remember sitting down with you and watching it. Or maybe actually what happened is I sat down by myself in your living room and watched it.
No. You sat down next to a basset hound. That's what you're remembering. I just look a lot like a basset hound.
Right, yes, with those creepy sad eyes.
I was slobbering the whole time.
It's not kind of bad.
Jowls.
Yeah, he hasn't really done any comedy. He's done comedic films, but he's not like
not like the 80s.
Yeah, not like the 80s.
So this is kind of the end of that, unfortunately. Yeah, people didn't like it. I don't know why. Maybe they were just over that style of Tom Hanks. But you could read some scathing reviews from '89 for this movie.
This movie?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
I believe it.
But it's been 35 years, and us kids have grown up, and now we're championing this movie like never before.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It's got a cult following.
That's not wrong. Yeah. Is it even cult anymore? Could you say it's cult?
Yeah.
I think it's moved a little bit beyond that, actually.
Yeah. I was trying to find some original Burbs reviews to see how they fared.
I'm sure you could find like Chicago Sun-Times, Roger Ebert or something.
That was the first one, yeah. It says 2 stars, but then it says thumbs up. I don't understand that. I'll have to write a letter to Ebert, see what he thought about that.
Yeah,
got a Ouija board.
Oh man. Yeah. So, what else about this movie? Do you want to? We played the trailer. Do you want to go through and just like read some fun trivs from IMDb?
Sure, I can do that.
Fun. Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, we got to get to your bone to pick.
We'll get to that at the end.
Walter's toy poodle Queenie was played by the same dog that played Precious in Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, isn't that cool? It's like one of the best dogs ever. You know what else that dog was? Is the little dog in Batman Returns? That catches.
Yeah.
That hangs out with the 3 circle circus gang or what the fuck ever.
Tom Hanks improvised the scene where he picks up the gurney and puts himself into the ambulance.
I got blown up. Take me to the hospital.
Dude, his physical comedy in this movie is brilliant. Just the one scene where he sort of slides down the stairs with his feet. He doesn't mean to do it.
After he got
perfect. He just sort of like...
Man, that's so good. Yes, absolutely.
Eating the sardine on the
sardines on the cracker.
How did everybody not break character? They had like all day to film that.
It's so.
Have you tried that though? Being as much fans as you are of the movie, have you
I
tried
always
a
thought it
sardine on
looked
a cracker?
good.
Oh, I have not.
I want to. I just don't have.
Have you guys ever
pretzels.
had a sardine? Period.
Yeah, I've had
Yeah.
sardines. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
good
never
for your
have.
heart.
Honestly,
I picked up a can once and I was curious about it, and I ate it. And I was like, "This was a mistake."
you do that with all cans that you see.
I have a lot of cans that are just opened, and I leave them to rot after I don't like them.
You're crazy.
They're not gonna rot. The cats will get them.
They should start eating them.
Yeah. I like sardines. You don't like sardines?
Me?
Yeah.
I've never had them. I don't
What?
particularly like seafood in general, so
Oh my god.
digging into a can of sardines was never really something that I've gone out of my way for.
I gotta go get. I'll be right back. I gotta go get a can.
You know, if the '80s taught me anything, it's that sardines are gross.
I think you mean anchovies.
Maybe you're right. Hang on, how are those different?
Anchovies are a different fish. They're smaller, and they're prepared different. They salt them,
Okay.
so they're soaked in a brine. Where a sardine is just canned.
I just need to play this one part.
It's fine.
That's got to be Sergio Leone.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
From How the West Was Won? No. Once Upon a Time.
Maybe
What?
one of those.
Hell, before it blew, you found it, right?
I just wanted you guys to see the stare thing.
What did that guy go on to do? Let me see. Hold on, I got the bird.
He went on to die. He died.
What?
Yeah, Rick Dukeman is dead. Or
Is he really?
Oh.
I think it's actually pronounced Dukeman, actually. Yeah, Rick Dukeman died. Unfortunately.
Oh yeah, 2015.
But what I think of him from is Little Monsters. He was the bad guy henchman in Little Monsters with Fred Savage and Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
He played Boy's big broad henchman. I don't remember his name in that. Also, I used to watch him in a movie called Disney's Blank Check.
Oh yeah.
He's the he's the limo driver in Blank Check that befriends a little kid in a looking back on it in a very weird kind of predatorial way.
Oh, diabetes. Yikes.
He's like a man hanging around this 11-year-old boy trying to get him laid.
Oh, Blank Check, yeah.
Very bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh, did he die of diabetes? Yeah, that's a
He died of diabetes.
Should have listened to Wilford Brimley.
Diabetes.
How's he doing?
I think he's okay.
Yeah.
he's
And he's
riding on a horse somewhere, shooting arrows.
We've also got Bruce Dern, who's
also dead.
Also doing well?
No, wait, hold
Okay.
on. He just might be close to death. Hold on.
I think he's just like a skeleton man these
Oh
days.
yeah, he's 87. Yeah.
No, he was just in that Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh yeah, he was in Hateful Eight, right?
Hateful Eight. Oh, I love the Hateful Eight.
Well, he won an Oscar for that movie Nebraska like a decade ago.
Holy shit, he
I
did.
think so. Yeah.
He did like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 productions in 2023 alone. Most of them westerns.
He's wonderful, and the Burbs really makes me want to go back and watch some of the older Bruce Dern movies, like from the 70s.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen Silent Running?
No.
Oh, the sci-fi movie?
Yeah, where he's on.
No, I know of it though.
Yeah, I've never seen it either, but I really want to.
Here's some more trivia. Everyone in the cast and crew had a good time working on the film, so much that Tom Hanks personally bought everyone sunglasses and left a personal thank you note to everyone in the cast and crew. If I just got sunglasses from Tom Hanks, I'd be pissed off. I'd be like, he's a fucking millionaire.
On eBay. You turn those around.
This was also done during the writer's strike of 1988. The film was rushed into production to avoid the WGA strike. Principal photography began the same day as the strike went into effect. The writer appeared in the film, but he was prohibited from contributing anything on the script while on set. So Joe Dante encouraged the actors to improvise a bunch of scenes. And one example is when Rumsfeld rips the Klopex wallpaper, an idea from Bruce Dern. Rick Ducommun ad-libbed many of his lines, including the Satan is good, Satan is our pal. Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher came with the idea of playing along with Jeopardy at home.
Huh. Yeah. I'm wondering if that writer's strike has anything to do with the kind of jumbled ending that I seem to have kind of a bit of a problem with these days the more I watch it. But we'll get to that later.
Okay. It also has Carrie Fisher in it. We forgot about Carrie Fisher.
Oh.
She's
Mhm.
hot as hell in this movie.
Yeah.
She's great. Yeah,
As
even
usual.
with that mom haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like kind of a like mushroom.
Yeah, the early 90s mom.
Yeah, the early 90s.
Apparently 89, yeah.
It's got Joe Dante regular Dick Miller as the garbage man.
Oh yeah, and
Robert Picardo
as the garbage man, who we will be discussing on Frank Welker Wonder Hour
in Star Trek.
when we get to
Voyager.
Munchies.
Thank you.
Munchie.
Because he's in Munchies.
Munchie's coming up, but not before 6 or 7 different seasons of G.I. Joe or something, I'm sure. Or maybe
Or
another iteration of
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, maybe Transformers again for the fucking 20th time. I don't know.
Another Scooby-Doo. Are you guys with me?
Not bitter about it. That's for sure. Not bitter at all.
Matt is wearing down, you guys. Wearing down.
It's working.
It's
the
3 o'clock my
password.
time. This is when I hit my bitter hour. Fucking, why'd they make fun of me in high school?
Well, which reason do you want? There's a litany of problems, sir.
But me wearing overalls every day.
Overalls are awesome.
Yeah. Did you know?
One strap down.
Let me tell you,
With one strap down. Yeah. That's how you do it.
that was the style of the mid '90s.
Try to change my name to DJ Viper.
Call me Dragon.
Courtney Gaines is in this. Courtney Gaines is great.
Who's Courtney Gaines?
He's the redhead from Children of the Corn.
Oh yeah. He hey Hans.
Nokia. Which was also an ad-lib line, by the way, from Bruce Dern.
The wonderful Henry Gibson, who plays Dr. Kopech.
Wonderful. He's so good.
Yeah, dude, he's always been good.
Love seeing that guy pop up and stuff.
I always think of him as like being 3 foot tall.
I know. I think he is.
Yeah.
Also, at the very end, Ron Howard's brother Rance Howard shows up. Is that his father?
I think it's his father.
Rance Howard is the father of Ron Howard and
Rance Howard.
Okay.
I was gonna say Ranch.
Ranch.
Ranch Howard.
There's a cop at the end.
Yeah.
And the old man down the street claims you kidnapped his dog. Okay.
Wendy Shaw as Rumsfeld's wife.
Man, she's hot.
There's so much. I'm going through the spoiler trivia, and there's so much at that last 15 minutes of that movie that just was changed constantly.
Let's hear about it. Let's hear about it, because the last 15 minutes of the movie is really kind of what I personally want to focus on.
Well, let's get into it. Fuck it.
But,
you want to go for it, Henry? Or
Sure, I'll read the first one.
Yeah.
In the original script, Ray Peterson was intended to be killed by Dr. Klopek. However, once Tom Hanks was cast in the role, the studio didn't think the audience would appreciate witnessing his death on screen, so the ending had to be reworked. Several alternative endings to the film were also shot where items other than bones were discovered in the Klopek's trunk, including dead cheerleaders and the garbage men seen earlier in the film. The ending has been a subject of debate before the writer's strike. Revisions were requested to make Hanks, whose box office profile has increased since the success of Big, as the dominant in the film as cinematically possible. So make Tom Hanks the center of the entire movie after it had already been written and probably cast.
I think that's the right idea. I think they had the right idea for doing
Don't
that.
kill Tom Hanks.
Don't kill Tom Hanks. No, I wouldn't have liked that either. I don't think.
The original ending is on YouTube.
That's right. They actually shot a lot of that.
Yeah.
With
Wait, not
the garbage men or with the cheerleaders?
Wait,
I don't know.
they did not shoot. They did not shoot Tom Hanks's death though.
No, the original ending was the one that they had on like the Blu-ray and stuff. Was that the Klopeks were innocent the entire time?
Oh.
Who was guilty? Wait a minute. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, original. I've got the Blu-ray here in front of me. The Shout Factory Select Blu-ray.
Uh-huh.
If you have that, then you could watch all of that.
I don't have it because I lent it to somebody 6 months ago and they haven't returned it. Or maybe they did return it. I just can't find it.
Can you imagine that? Like, you know, producing this film 35 years ago and then, like, you know, it being 2024 and you having to lend that out like, hey, this is a really good movie. You should watch it. It's weird that, you know, it's still on the radar when so much isn't.
Yeah, really.
And did you lend it out because this person had never seen it before?
Yes.
Or they remember it fondly and they wanted to watch it again?
No, they hadn't seen it before.
Yeah, so new people are still coming to this movie, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's
as opposed to like Munchies, which I'm sure you can't get on Blu-ray.
or it's like some like 4K $600 edition that has 14 different versions of it.
Because no one else wanted to print it, and they knew they wouldn't sell more than 1,000.
Yeah,
you know?
Vinegar Syndrome put out some expensive thing of it or something.
Yeah, that could be. Or go watch it on Tubi for free.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Tubi, all the best movies. That's our tagline now.
And Gordon Ramsay.
So if you look up the writer Dana Olson, there's not much that they've done that it's much better than the Burbs. Honestly, they wrote TV like Laverne and Shirley, Joni Loves Chachi.
What are you talking about? This person wrote. The writer wrote Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie.
The movie.
Yes, everyone loves that.
Movie.
Yeah. With convicted murderer.
Matthew Broderick?
Convicted murderer. Matthew Broderick.
He was cleared of those charges. He had to pay $200 into Ireland, and he apologized to the family. That's plenty of penance for what he did.
Yeah. But also, this writer created the show Henry Danger, which I am very familiar with because I have a 9-year-old daughter who discovered that show and fucking loves it. I have seen every episode of Henry Danger.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I don't know what this is. Yeah.
Don't have children. It was a show, a live action superhero show created for Nickelodeon in 2014. And
by Dan Schneider? That's not problematic.
6 years. Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider. You know who Dan Schneider is? He's currently in the process of being being canceled because of his.
Dan Schneider's got a sketchy past, buddy.
Yeah. A lot of inappropriate long hugs.
A lot of requests from fans to send in pictures of their feet for some reason.
Oh, yeah, the fan thing. Yeah, that's right. Send in your best foot pics and shit like that. Yeah, Nickelodeon.
Imagine me, but a pervert.
I don't have to separate too much there.
What are you talking about?
Okay. Yeah. Right. Wow. Okay.
You say me and Dan Schneider are one and the same? Only once have I requested people send pictures of their feet.
Nationally.
Yeah, he's done it multiple times.
Yeah. This wasn't like on a chat group somewhere or something. No, this was like on nationwide TV. Let's put it up.
So what is Henry Danger? Is that he's a superhero? I'm assuming
it's a comedy superhero show.
Okay.
He's a kid who becomes like a Robin type character to a superhero.
A sex slave?
Basically, yeah. Anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, what else? Oh, by the way, we absolutely love this movie. I just want to get that out there, right?
Okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I just want to make that known because when I start kind of nitpicking the end, I don't want people to think otherwise, but I absolutely adore this movie. I wouldn't want anyone to go and change it like George Lucas style. But it's almost perfect. Almost.
I think the Burbs need some more aliens in the end. Maybe a jizz scene where there's aliens are singing.
If you just put a do-back in the background there.
I have a scene where the aliens going, oh, whoop, whoop, up, do,
I
originally intended to have 4 do-backs, but I was only able to put 1 do-back because of
more lightsabers. 50,000 lightsabers. It's my art. I'll do what I fucking want with it. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
This is my art, and it is dangerous.
Yeah, this movie has a special place in my heart for sure. I mean, I've probably seen it. I'm gonna say like 10 or 15 times.
I've seen it so many more times.
Yeah, I know you have. It's
endlessly rewatchable.
Yeah.
And now my children love it too. So
do they?
At Penelope, my 9-year-old loves this fucking. And we watch it together all the time. She'll request to put it on all the time. So it's generational now, you guys.
It doesn't scare her at all?
I don't think so, no.
Man, kids don't get scared anymore.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Well, I played The Exorcist for her the other day while we were...
Jesus Christ.
How'd that go?
And, it's all right. It's all right. We had some conversations, some tough conversations.
Yeah, to keep pausing.
And this is where Linda Blair's back gets cracked.
This is where Ellen Burstyn's back gets cracked too.
Breaking a lot of backs.
See, this is illegal to film now.
So the whole movie has this undertone and this concept that it's pushing through the whole movie.
Yeah.
How it's really who you least suspect in the suburbs that will turn out to be the problem. Like they tell that story of Art, the soda jerk.
Yeah.
Right? No one suspected a thing. It was just a regular guy. He ran the soda fountain or whatever. And then one day, El Snapo, he says,
yeah,
murdered his whole family with an ice pick, right?
They started smelling something.
Yeah.
His delivery in that movie is so perfect in every scene.
Yeah, he's MVP of this movie. Well, no. Him, Tom Hanks, and Ducommun. And Dern.
My feelings are hot.
That fucking roof, and it cuts to a high angle camera of the top of the roof, and it's got like this cartoon cutout of his body. Wily kind of thing. It's little moments like that I think turned off people of the late 80s. Like I think that kind of stuff went sort of over the line for them.
Too silly.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
Probably wasn't until like the mid 90s when that changed.
I'm not sure exactly, but anyway. So they give it's this overall idea that like the true sickos are the ones that you don't suspect.
Is that what the idea is?
Did you guys not get that idea going through the movie that like, well, maybe we're the crazy people that hang out in our yards, and it's all summed up with Tom Hanks's monologue at the end where he's like, "Here, mow our lawns. We're the crazy people." It's summed up pretty nicely.
To me, it just felt like unchecked hysteria. Like,
it is. It's absolutely. It's unchecked hysteria. It's that they're the crazy people, but how can it is? It's unchecked hysteria. But to then discover that all along the Klopeks were guilty of what they thought, takes all of that shit and keeps it out the fucking door in like a matter of a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Which the older I got and the more I watched this movie at an older age, the more I was kind of dissecting that little bit about it and thinking like, wait a minute, like all of a sudden it takes a 180 turn and goes the other way, and not for comedic value, not for any kind of surprise. I think it's kind of just poor writing.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, again, I hate to shit on this movie because I fucking love it, but there could have been something different at the very end to really make it all coalesce, and come together. But instead, they give you this idea like, how could they be, it's unchecked hysteria. They're looking at these outsiders and just thinking that, because they don't keep their lawns green, they must be up to no good.
Yeah.
Is the wrong, that's the wrong way to think. That's xenophobia, right?
Yeah. Well, there was the ending that they shot where they actually are innocent. I don't think they actually shot it. I don't think they shot it, but they wrote it.
Maybe it was written, but it was not shot. Like the shot ending is a little bit different, but they still end up being guilty.
Yeah, the alternate ending where it's on YouTube, Klopek still attacks him in the ambulance and tries to inject him.
Right.
But they don't open up a thing and show that there's bones or anything like that.
Yeah, it's something else. It's something else that paints him that
like they're still murderers, but it's not as like here's all the bodies,
I still would have watched that ending again. But it was something else. But also, the Klopeks were guilty, which kind of is my main gripe about this whole movie. I don't think the Klopeks should have been guilty at the end of it.
Yeah.
I think that it kind of did a disservice to the whole idea and concept that they were building through the whole movie.
So why do you think that they did the ending that they did?
And it did a disservice to his awesome monologue at the end, which is like kind of like, it's a really cool kind of
puts a bow on it.
Dissertation on suburban life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you guys ever suspected that one of your neighbors is doing something?
Where I live, usually those suspicions eventually lead to police raids.
Oh yeah.
All doing. Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't want that.
Currently,
I mind my own business.
In my mom's neighborhood, I think that her neighbors are up to all sorts of nefarious shit, and I haven't gathered enough evidence yet, but I'm getting there.
Matt, this has been going on since we were children. I remember that neighbor next to your mom, and there were just like all kinds of crazy stories that you'd make up about this guy.
I never made him up. No, he had a Dracula in a coffin in the back of his yard. It was a fake Dracula, but we went back there and he had a full-on coffin with a Dracula in it.
Is this not the person that you used to refer to as Chester the Molester?
No, Chester was down the street.
Okay.
That's the guy that we'd ride our bikes around the neighborhood and he'd come out to get his newspaper in his white undies and just stand there and it just like had his underwear pulled up so everyone could see his bulge.
So he was definitely
he got arrested.
Yeah.
Turns out he was a molester. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? His name wasn't Chester, but
no, my mom has new neighbors in there or been there for the past few years, and I'm sure that they're drug dealers and they also run a puppy mill. I'm almost positive of it.
That's how they traffic the drugs.
They put them in the puppies.
Yeah. Oh, you're here for the Yorkie? And it's like a bloated little Yorkie full of cocaine.
Mules. Call them puppy mule. They're running a puppy mule.
Puppy mules, yeah.
If I could just get in the house, I can get what I need.
The evidence.
What really bothers me about the end of this movie, especially the more I watch it and the older I get, is that it kind of shits all over the idea that like, oh, it's really actually the psychos that fucking, worry about their lawns and sit and stare out the window and suspect other people like they're the real psychos,
Yeah.
I wish it would have kept to that, and I think I kind of have a bit of a fix, and I don't have this totally fleshed out, so maybe we can workshop it here a little bit. Maybe we can do sort of a yes and thing together.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Here's how I think it could have been fixed.
Okay. Run me through it.
Everything goes as normal up through the explosion, up to the point just before Dr. Klopek enters the ambulance.
Okay.
I don't know how the characters would meet, but what ends up happening at the end is they discover that there was a murderer on their street all along. And you know who it was? It was Walter. He was the murderer, and he was hiding there all along, sort of like BTK, sort of like the Golden State Killer, how they sort of like did their fucking bad, all their murders, and then tried to like make like a family, what I mean?
Make a life, yeah.
Make a life,
Like
and then
10 years between killings.
Yeah, like 20 years or something.
Yeah.
What was with BTK between his last killing and him getting caught? It was
BTK was like 20 years, yeah.
25 years. Enough time for him to have an entire family and lead a semi-normal life in the suburbs,
Yeah. By all accounts, he was a full-on asshole, though. Like, he ran the neighborhood watch and like told on people if their lawns were too long.
He was such a piece of shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And can you not see Walter in this movie being that character?
Yeah, he has the perfect lawn.
He has the perfect lawn. He's sending his dog out and to shit on the other people's lawns because he's like, oh, they could use a good fertilizing anyway or whatever,
Yeah.
So there's somehow Walter. Let's see.
Well, maybe Walter gets hurt in the explosion. Maybe he's outside and something hits him, and him and Hanks both end up in the ambulance together.
That's a good idea. Like they're sort of in the same ambulance or something.
Yeah, and that gives Walter his chance to finish off Tom Hanks.
Here's something. Maybe what happens is, you know how Carol and the boy, what's his son's name in the movie?
Tom Hanks' son?
Yeah, in the movie.
I'll tell you right now.
Who, by the way, I don't know who the kid is, but wonderful casting. Am I right?
Dave?
Yeah. Corey Danziger. It plays Dave Peterson.
Dave Peterson, right.
Yeah.
He looks just like a young Tom Hanks. Like, it looks like he would be his son. Anyway, Carol and Dave show back up. You know how in the movie they show back up, they come back home from the lake house.
Yeah.
Fuck, like right at the moment. I think what would happen is like Carol would be like, Dave, go into the house and just stay there till I get this stuff figured out. Well, Walter is already in the house.
Oh shit.
What he's got is he picked up Art's gun, right?
Oh yeah.
You know that gun that's in the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
It would be nice to have that come back around like Chekhov's gun, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You set it up and then it shows back up in the third act. Otherwise, why are you putting a gun in there in the first place?
Tom Hanks takes it from him, say, you can't have this back until we talk about this or something, and then puts it in the house.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So they were in his house. Do you remember they went into Walter's house when they suspected foul play and they found the chairs turned over?
Yeah.
They were searching through everything. So Walter thinks that the same thing that Dr. Klopek thinks, like you don't have to change too much. It could be like, you were in my house. I know you saw my blank. Yeah. Let's say as an old serial killer back in his heyday of being a serial killer, the news referred to him as the scalper or something. And what he liked to do was
a souvenir.
Yeah. He liked to collect hair. So that would make it so that hairpiece that he carries around has a significance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not only does he have that hairpiece, but he has all kinds of real hair. Like, maybe it's in like a garden shed or something. You know
He's
what?
like the Leatherface of hairpieces.
Yeah. Wouldn't something like that be like cool?
That would be great, and it'd be such a nice twist.
And so he shows up at the end, and he's in the house, and he's got David hostage with this gun at him. And Tom Hanks walks in, he's like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And then he gives out, like, "I know you saw everything. I know that you know that I'm the scalper," or something like that.
Yeah, and he's petting his son's hair the whole time.
Calm down, you know.
Yeah.
But he's an old man, so he goes to take a shot with the gun, and his body can't handle it, and the recoil just like knocks him back into a wall, right? Like he's so frail still.
Yeah. Or one of the Klopeks comes up behind him and hits him with a shovel or something.
Oh, like fucking
Home Alone?
Yeah, like Hans or something.
Yeah, that's a great idea. One of them comes up, and it turns out like they just helped him in the end. Actually,
yeah.
After all this pointing fingers and bullshit, they ended up being the one that kind of helped him out. You know.
Yeah.
There, this is an easy fix. Like this could have been an easy fucking fix. And the more I think about it, the more it kind of drives me a little crazy, you know? Like, why did this happen? Why did it happen like that at the end of this movie? But that would have been so easy to do, and it would have just cinched everything up, you know? Something like that, right?
Then you have Dr. Klopek and Hanks walking away at the end, and like, you know, pan out shot of them walking, and then little jokes about like going to his house, and it's like, well, I can't now because you fucking blew it up.
Great. Yeah, awesome.
This is gonna be a comic book. You could do an alternate comic book.
So the Klopeks tried to get this house, but they couldn't until the Naps mysteriously disappeared. And what happened was Walter killed them because they didn't have the greatest lawn. And you know, after a lapse in murders, he comes back to kill the Naps, and then he's got their hair in his, you know, gardening shed or something, let's say.
/ basement. I want a basement.
You could even have a flashback of Walter being the actual killer of the Soda Jerk's family. Like maybe the Soda Jerk goes away to like get well for a while.
Yeah.
And he comes back and his family's dead, and the Soda Jerk gets arrested instead.
Oh, that'd be something real cool.
Like he could talk about his history of killings while he's holding the son hostage.
Yeah, sure. And then maybe Rance Howard shows up in the house, you know, after he hears the gunshot go off and Walter's fucking recoiled back into the wall and laying on the ground like, oh, my feeble body. He's like, did he say scalper? I remember that case, you know.
Yeah.
I remember that case from 20 years ago.
Sure, I'm too old to be a cop, but my son is the director.
Well, he's a detective, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's all right.
But anyway, like
I think that's a great ending. They should have done that.
Yeah, and what?
Fuck you, Joe Dante.
Yeah,
Ozzie hates you and your movies.
No, it's just like I've been thinking about this for a long time. Like, man, why did they kind of just like screw the pooch at the end of this movie? They sort of set it all up and then just sort of yank the rug right out from under you, and that's kind of bugged me for the last little while. And then one day it just dawned on me, like, Walter. If it was Walter, that would fix fucking everything.
Yeah.
It would even lend harder to the idea that like it's the ones you least suspect in the suburbs that are on the outside everything seems great, but inside, you know,
don't trust a well manicured lawn.
Yep.
Don't ever trust that.
My lawn looks like shit. Everybody can trust me.
Yeah.
Very trustworthy. So I don't know. It's just been something I've been thinking about, and sure, I could sit down and spend a couple days and like literally write out a script for this ending, but I'm not going to.
Do it. Send it to Joe Dante. Said this is why I'm better than you.
This is how you.
But you can do that. You can do it as an alternate comic. Henry, get on that.
Let's do it.
Henry, that'd be cool for like movies as comics thing, you know?
Yeah. We wrote our own sequel.
We wrote our own sequel.
Like,
oh wait, no, we rewrote the ending and then get sued by Tom Hanks.
Ooh.
We're already on the fence with Welker.
We're on shaky ground with that already.
Yeah. You don't want to
Really
get
surprised we haven't got a cease
lawyers.
and desist.
Tom Hanks has so much more power in Hollywood, also. So.
Yeah.
Oh man, so that's like my idea, and again, like I don't exactly know the details, but something like that, would have been fantastic, and it would have made the movie an A+ when currently it's an A.
Remember when we talked to that guy about the big, when we were doing Big, about the machine that he had built, and then he got a cease and desist?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just thought of it, Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was way back when. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
I think it was Nick.
Nick, that's right. Yeah, he built his Zoltar machine, but he wasn't able to sell them. He was only able to give them away to his charity, right?
Yeah, but he had to change the name, didn't he?
Something like that.
Like he doesn't call them Zoltar machines, and he had to change the design, but it's a Zoltar machine for all intents and purposes.
No, it's that the Zoltar machines that you currently see out in the world only use the name, but the design is not the same. And then they bought the Zoltar name to use it. So then if you go back and try to make a replica from the movie and call it Zoltar, that company that currently owns the Zoltar name but makes fake versions will get you.
They're constantly on hashtags and stuff.
Yeah. Anyway,
going back to the ending really fast. You say like, oh, they had this ending that was bad, but I think they were conflicted about the ending too. They shot so many different things and wrote so many different things. Like they eventually had to go with one. I'm sure it was a whole committee of bullshit executives going, well, they have to be the murderers. That's what people want.
But you could really feel it kind of start to fall apart at the very end there. And that must be a mixture of like different scripts and melding of ideas. I'm not exactly sure how they land the ending they have, but I just don't think it fully works. I think having the Klopex and also like the skeletons in the back of the trunk, like
it's a little bit on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're driving around with them in their trunk. I don't get it.
Which is why I think the alternate one that they shot that's on YouTube probably works better because it's a little more subdued than that. It's just like Klopek attacks them. They get arrested.
Yeah, I don't think in that original one they have that weird, the gurney rolls out.
No, they don't have that. No.
Any of that happens. But
yeah.
But also, it's kind of racist, isn't it? Like a little bit.
What do you mean?
Well, they're looking at these people who are clearly foreigners compared to the rest of the characters in the movie. And just like, these people are fucking weird. Look how fucking foreign they are, and look how different they are from us.
I see nothing wrong with that.
And and then it ends up being like, yeah, that's because they're fucking murderers. And it turns out that, like, yeah, you can't trust those foreigners. Watch out. If you see a foreigner around and they're doing things differently from you, then
Isn't that the entire Republican platform right now?
Probably.
Yeah. Guys, I'm late. I got to go to a rally. I can't really tell you about it, but I got to go.
He bust out a red hat
and then put a white hood over it.
Oh no!
I'm in a club.
See, but like in like politically in 1989, wasn't that the trend? It was like the Eastern Europeans are kind of scary.
A lot of
people who are,
yeah.
A lot of xenophobia against, like, yeah, you're right, Eastern Europe and Russia and stuff like that. Yeah. Those areas, absolutely. Which don't do that. Like
now we love Russia.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
at least part of the country does.
half
totally.
The country.
Yeah. Oh man. So anyway, that's my idea to,
I still love the movie. I realize it's a bad ending.
Minor problem, but it is a problem.
Yeah.
And I think our generation have been a little bit blinded by nostalgia.
It's like eating a delicious ice cream sundae, and then right when you're about to finish, someone walks by and farts. Like, oh, it's like it was still good, but right at the end,
like I have a weird boner right now. But
whoa, Henry, what?
It's like eating ice cream and then they afterwards and say that was made from human breast milk or something.
Like,
What?
no wonder I loved it.
I loved it.
Or you get to the bottom of a bowl and there's a pube at the bottom.
Yeah, right. I don't know. These are all very bad analogies, but yeah, sure.
It's a perfect analogy.
Oh, it's not. Okay. I love that Chris Farley SNL bit with the fucking decaf coffee, the hidden camera. You guys ever seen that?
What'd you say?
What? You haven't seen that, Henry?
No.
Oh, shit. It's
Son
good.
of a
I like
bitch.
that.
We just totally change track and just watch that at the end of this episode real quick.
We can if you want.
That might be a good idea. Have one more good laugh. But anyway, yes, I love this movie so much, and I will continue to watch it over and over. And I wouldn't be dissecting it like this if I didn't love it. You know what I mean? It's done out, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
To be the best it can possibly be. That's one of my favorite shows.
Oh no!
God, fucking Christ.
What?
What?
Oh, that was a good ending to the show.
Yeah. Anyway, if anyone out there has any suggestions for their idea of a quote unquote fix, write in Macabrecast at gmail.com. Wait, is that the right show? Macabrecast show at gmail.com?
Macabrecast show at gmail.com. Yes.
That's right. And let us know how if the ending bothers you, I'd like to hear about it. And if you have an idea of how it could be easily fixed, I'd also like to hear about it.
Also, send your feet pics. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.